Hello, Aldo Figueroa here. In this series of videos, we're going to be going over working within Photoshop. A couple of things that we'll be doing. We'll start off by recreating a panorama within Photoshop using the content-aware transparent fill option. We'll be covering the Photoshop interface, the different document window, toolbars, option bar panels. We'll also be talking about layers of how you're able to stack different images one on top of another within Photoshop, how to hide and show layers, and how to add, delete, or copy layers as well. We'll also be going over the Move tool. It's going to be very useful when working with layers. And then lastly, we're going to talk about saving your file. The Photoshop document file, the .psd file format, and additional things that we will need in order for your first part or your project one submission. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and create a new Photoshop panorama. I'm going to use the files that I've previously made available. You could use your own. I'm going to go to File, I'm going to select Automate, and I'm going to go down to Photo Merge. Within the window that pops up, I want to supply it with images. I'm going to go to Browse. It's going to bring up a window here, and I need to go to my file where I have my images, and I put them here in my photo samples. And on a Mac, you're able to view your images if you press the space bar. So it gives me a larger view. I know it's these images down here that I want to use. I'm pressing the space bar so I can see what images there are. I'm going to use my arrow keys to go down. Now, I don't know if there's a similar feature on Windows. I will look into it and get back to you. But here are the images that I want to use. I know I do not want to use this one here, so I took another one, which is here, and then this one, and there it is. So I want this one. I don't want this one. So on a Mac or a PC, if you press Option on a Mac or Alt on a PC, you're able to select which images you want. This is the one that I do not want. And you can see how I'm able to select all of these except this one, this image. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it to open. This is going to supply them within the Photo Merge window. Now for the layout, I will select auto, but I do recommend that you try the different methods to see how it's going to create your panorama. At the bottom, this is where we're going to explore some of these options. I do want blend images together. This is really important if you want your panorama to be smoothly connected. I'm not going to use the vignette removal or the geometric distortion correction. These are for specific type of lenses, a fisheye lens that I'm not using. But if you are using a fisheye lens, these two will be really helpful. I am going to turn on content aware transparent areas. What this is going to do is going to fill in the outer edges of the panorama with pixels. We'll go over that a little later within this video tutorial, within this series. I'm going to go ahead and tell it OK. And now we let Photoshop do its work. Depending on how many images, how many files, how many processors, how beefy your computer is, this process could take a little or more time. So right now, what Photoshop is doing, it's copying all the images onto a new document, and it's evaluating, placing the images to try to create your panorama. So you just give it a moment. Right now it's doing the fill operation, which is filling this outer area, and we are done. At this point, I want something to work with. So in the next video, we're going to start talking about the entire Photoshop user interface. But for right now, this is what we have. In a different video, we will talk about what this operation has done, but I want us to start off with having an image to work with. So go ahead, either take a moment and create a panorama or open your own panorama that you maybe already saved, and we'll continue on to the next video to talk about the user interface.